ancestrylands.com. You're live, man. This is on the road with Uncle Phil. We got a little things to talk about. I'm out and about, man. I'm traveling. I'm going to different places, man. On site. We'll talk about that once I come back. And I'm reading the news, man, and there's kind of a lot to talk about right now. We got our main topic that I'm going to talk about, which is Larsa Pippen saying, or Michael Jordan's son Marcus Jordan, he got that 15, that size 15. She's on the. If you're watching anything, there's a trailer for Thursday's Real Housewives of Miami reunion. And, Larsa's in there talking about her relationship with Marcus Jordan, the son of, Hall of Fame legend Michael Jordan. And we're going to get to that. Other news, too, as well. Punches thrown and chaos erupts on a Southwest Airlines flight to Dallas. One of the guys was known saying that he will end every male on the plane. We got to talk about that too as well. And Philadelphia actually has reports of an exotic reptile located. So I guess somebody dropped it off or dumped it out there. But imagine going out to a little lake or something like that, and you find a daggone caiman. If anybody doesn't know, a caiman is a smaller alligator, I believe. We'll get into that too as well. And in our other news, a whole bunch of mass teens. I'm on my computer, so I can't. I'm gonna. A mob of mass teens trash Chinese restaurant in Queens, causing $20,000 worth of damage. I mean, was the General Tso's that good? You know, or them fried chicken wings, the fried wings. Yo, listen, if you've ever been to Chinese restaurant, and I can understand the frustration. I really can. As a brother myself, when I order Chinese, I'm definitely getting that four rings with shrimp fried rice. You know what I mean? If anybody doesn't know about the fried chicken wings with fried rice, like please, I mean, just if you know what I'm talking about, put a one down in the chat if you know about the fried wings with rice. You know what I mean? I remember, I think it was Lethal Weapon 4 when he was like fried rice. He always messed it up when he was talking to Mel Gibson was talking to the Chinese dude. He was like fried rice. He's like, it's fried rice, you prick. Any which way, let's get into the mob teams, man. The mob of teens, man. This is crazy. I'm gonna share this with you guys here. Look at CC Yahoo News here. Mass teens trash Chinese restaurant in Queens, causing $20,000 in damage. I mean, honestly, to me, yo, if you're not going in there and getting any, you're not doing no takeout, you're not getting anything. This happened on March 4th. Police are still searching for the youngins. On March 4th, a group of teenagers took to an elevator on the third floor of a corner mall in College Point and stormed into Fish Village restaurant, wildly flipping tables and chairs while customers are eating around 3:20 p.m. The teens, who wore mask and hoodie t-shirts, smashed dishes, shattered utensils, and broke a window. Overall, the damages add up to about 20K. A cell phone video of the incident was posted on Twitter on Wednesday by the education and community activist Yai Chu, who lamented, "We've fallen so low, there's no expectation of consequences for this horrific attack on private property." I mean, they was in getting it in. Did somebody not get their order right? Is that what it is? The video is going viral on WeChat. Fish Village, a restaurant in College Point, was ransacked by a gang of masked kids in hoodies. I mean, this is crazy. From time to time, they entered to the time they left. It only took a minute. They didn't say a word. We have no idea what's happening. I was behind the register and was in shock. I ran to call 911. By the time I got through, they were already gone. Sheesh. New meaning of takeout, apparently. Let's go back to here. You can all can read this with me. This is a big financial loss, especially our reputation to future customers. Nobody wants to go to a place where things like this happen. There's also where the staff's safety and possibly that the group can return. The vandals did not use weapons, nor did they take any property with them. Councilwoman Vicky Palladino, who visited a restaurant, said there was 50 police officers recently added to her district. More officers are still needed to deal with certain similar incidents. So here's my question right now. We had defund the police. Everybody was big on getting rid of the police, right? Get rid of the police, get rid of the police. And now you have it where businesses are suffering, and now we need police again, right? And I mean, for these young people here, I have to say, it's like maybe, maybe there was a reason behind it. Maybe they went in there because they were not given good service. I mean, part of going to some Asian restaurants as black people, you don't always get treated as well, especially if you're young going into these places. You're talking to them, trying to get your order right. They're messing up your order. They're quick, they're short, they're curt. And I know they have a different style of business, but a lot of times when you're serving black community, there might be a little bit of a language barrier there, and that's going on. And they may not have knowingly disrespected these young cats out here. So now we have an issue where they said, you know what, the hell with it. We going up in there and tearing it up. They went in there flipping the tables, and if they didn't take any food, you know what I mean? Then it has to be something that was done there that happened probably, potentially, allegedly with the customer that was there. I mean, this may not be the best response for doing something like that if you're not happy with service. But again, it just begs to ask the question of, they went in to take out, Egg Foo Young. They was in there tearing up shit and definitely, destroying this place to that. This is a wolf pack. See, this is what I'm talking about. See this right here? This is what I'm talking about. The way they refer to, and more than likely, I'm going to go on to say this is from people of color. This is a wolf pack. A bunch of teenage thugs rampaging through a restaurant. Another agent merchant gets treated like a speed bump. And I mean, again, like you're gonna call them wolf pack like they're a bunch of animals. You know what I mean? They will be charged as juveniles and back on the street. Their friends will see the video and they'll be treated like heroes in the hood. So obviously, I mean, again, this is definitely talking about black people. This is this is definitely treating people like they're criminals. And they're definitely saying they wouldn't be saying hood if they were talking about anyone else other than black young juveniles. But again, they went in there, and I mean, again, do black people experience racism or discrimination in when they go to Chinese restaurants? I mean, again, most black people are buying a lot of the Asian food. You know what I mean? They're in hoods. I mean, I love going to Chinese places because I get my four wings with rice. That has to be the black man's order on most of the time in the Chinese food restaurant. And if the way maybe they didn't give them the right order and messed it up and didn't want to refund it, and these kids took it upon themselves to go in there and tear it all up. You know what I mean? But I do know that a lot of times when you're in some of these restaurants, you don't exactly get treated like your dollars are the same as other customers coming through there. You know, and I mean, did the young people just say the hell with this? I had enough. Yeah, I'm tired of getting my order wrong. I tell you fried rice, shrimp fried rice, and you giving me vegetable fried rice. And it's time now I'm going in your pockets. It's the F around to find out series. That's what we dealing with right now. It is these teenagers went in here and tore this Chinese food place up. They're tired of getting the orders wrong too much, man. And I think this should serve a lesson that you can't call a bunch of young black teens wolf pack, and that means to tell me that people are treating them like animals to begin with. That's how they're identifying with that. They're identifying young black teens as animals. And if you treat them that way, you're probably going to get that response. Yes, the young people shouldn't have gone in there and created 20K of damage, but maybe that's the message you need to send sometimes when you're being treated that way. When you're a customer, you're going in and buying you're supporting these businesses by buying up all their fried chicken, and Lord knows the Asian fried chicken is banging. And you're getting the fried rice. Maybe they didn't give no duck sauce. That's another thing. How many times have you asked for condiments from an Asian restaurant and didn't get the condiments? You know what I mean? You ask for, I mean, chopsticks. Let's say they ask for chopsticks. Like, oh, they black. They don't need no chopsticks. You want duck sauce, hot sauce. I mean, these young kids probably don't have hot sauce at home, and it's hotter the condiments being missing out of the order. And it could be something as simple as like, they didn't give any damn napkins. Here I am with a box of lo mein, a pint of lo mein. The oil's dripping through the box. You know how many times you got a fried rice, a pint or a quarter fried rice, and the rice is damn near about to pop out of the daggone thing. They don't even seal it right, or the rice feels like it's not even freshly cooked. You giving me the bottom of the wok rice, and you serving everybody else off the top. How dare you? You know, and they got a 20K damage bill. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I would definitely say that. Definitely. But again, you're going to say that this is a wolf pack, a bunch of teenage thugs rampaging through the restaurant. Has there been any bad experience at this restaurant with treating young black teens like they're animals to begin with, or their dollars didn't matter? Or you didn't give good service? Because Lord knows a lot of places actually do not give you fresh food. They tend, if you've ever been to, what's a place like that? Like we in the West Coast got Panda Express. They got places where they tend to give you, when you're going through the lines, and it's not like a buffet line, but it's a la carte ordering. They don't always give you the freshest food. You got to ask for it. And when you do, they act like it's a problem giving you food that ain't been sitting there for about an hour or two. You know what I mean? That's how they're giving you this food. I don't know. You tell me what y'all think, man. So, in other news, we'll talk about the next news story here. I'm sorry, I'm doing this on the fly. I'm doing this on the road, folks. Exotic reptile with very big teeth discovered in Pennsylvania park. Photo show. This is on March 8th by Caitlin uh, Alleness. An exotic alligator-like reptile was discovered by a fisherman in a Pennsylvania park. Police officers were called to FDR Park in South Philadelphia, where an animal control care team, Philly, to help rescue the creature, which they found it was a caiman that had been tied up with police tape. Caiman, which are amphibious carnivores related to alligators, are native to Central and South America, according to Britannica. They live along bodies of water. We're grateful to, I mean, could you imagine this right here? Let me show you this picture right here, y'all. Because again, y'all ain't gonna see this right here. This is daggone, I mean, it looked like alligator to me. But they found this, and what do they call this? Caiman was taken to hang out in the ACCT Philly office. So he doesn't scare our small critters. His stay will be short lived as the rescue organization is planning on taking him in. They believe he was abandoned by someone who was trying to raise non native reptile as pets. It's measured 3 feet long. That's this picture right here is of the caiman is 3 feet long in this guy's hand. I know it looks small, but don't forget, out in South America, caimans, which you might think are alligators, like in the Amazon, they live out there and they get bodied by jaguars. Maybe someone was trying to bring jaguars up into the Philly area to deal with some of the crime, and they thought by putting caiman out in these little rivers, leaving them out there, that would bring in some of the caiman population. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because it's pretty. It actually has been a mild winter on the Northeast, but they're cold-blooded creatures, so it's a good chance it could have died anyway. They say it's huge, very big teeth. And if you're struggling to keep a pet, folks, this is one of those things, man. I don't know who gets exotic pets, but these pets grow. They're saying if you struggle to keep your pet and decide to have a animal who will be about 5 feet long, this animal will be 5 feet long, Caiman, lives up to 40 years, and requires a minimum small studio that is half water to be kept at 70 degrees, was not the wisest decision you made. Don't release them. You know what I mean? Like, what's next? Somebody gonna raise a tiger and then just release it out on the streets? I mean, what do you imagine that you walking down the street? You're doing your biking and everything else, and you look and you just glance and you biking. You thought you seen a tiger. Then maybe you look again and you like, yo, is that a tiger for real tiger? And you can't believe your eyes because you're going up, you know, you're on Broad Street or South Street of Philly, and you see a damn tiger sitting over there looking at you. And now the tiger's running at you, and you are trying to figure out, is this really happening or not? And at the same time, you about to get your ass eaten up. That's what's about to happen. Abandoned animals and reptiles have a tough time adapting to life in Philadelphia, especially because they are cold blooded, and we do get crazy winters in Philly. It's also illegal to abandon animals in the state, definitely, and they're harmful to the native ecosystem. I don't think a person like that cared, though. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, your thoughts, folks. I mean, and this happens all around. You've seen the what is that, Tiger King? There are many areas where you may not even realize it that people are raising wild animals. Sometimes in suburban neighborhoods where you don't know what can be out there, and sometimes they get too rough for people to handle in their own home. And some people are just like, the hell with it, I'm just going to release this out there. But a damn alligator in Philly, no less, in a lake in Philly, and the person had to fish it out of there. I mean, that's crazy. They had a lethargic alligator pulled from a lake in New York City. It remains a mystery how it got there. Probably the same way the other one, someone had an alligator, it kept getting bigger, and then they threw the daggone thing away in the lake. And here you are fishing with your son, having a father-son trip, and the next thing you know, dad's losing an arm. What's that, like Billy Madison? You got the hook here, Carl Weathers style, right? I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. And people do this kind of stuff. I mean, it just means you got to keep your head on the swivel. No place is safe, man. You have to keep your head on the swivel. All right, let's get to this next topic here, man, because I'm gonna keep it quick, man. Punches thrown, man. People bodying on the Southwest Airlines plane in Dallas. Yo, let me ask you a question. When you're flying, I mean, you're 30, 40,000 feet in the air, and somebody's on the plane saying they're gonna dead everybody on the plane. They're getting rid of this. I'm gonna show this fight real quick. Let's look at this fight. Here's what's happening here. Let's watch this.
It happened as Southwest 117 was boarding Dallas to Phoenix. One passenger began punching
Woo!
another,
Haymaker.
fellow travelers pulling them apart.
See that?
Southwest says its crew helped to de-escalate the situation, coming days after 32-year-old Francisco Torres threatened fellow travelers on a United flight to Boston.
I will kill every man on this plane.
Then tried to...
Okay, hold on. Whoa. Let's talk about this right now. My man just threw out a direct threat. You're on the plane. You're there with your kids. Your kids are looking all upset, frustrated. Now, I thought that you were supposed to have a U.S. Marshal on every plane after 9/11 happened. I thought that was supposed to be standard. Apparently, that's not the case. Because, I mean, my man's right here. He's obviously saying he just identified every male in there and said, F around and find out right now. So it's a direct challenge to any male up there saying that he's going dead everybody. Now, that's his statement right there. Do you sit in your seat and just wait around? I mean, this person in here is saying that every man on the plane. That's a direct challenge. I mean, what do you do in this situation? Let's see what else happens here. Continuing on.
To stab a flight attendant with a broken spoon as fellow passengers tackled him.
We are now in an emergency aircraft.
The
Good
captain
God
declared
Almighty.
an
Look at
in-flight
this.
emergency.
That person was subdued and is being detained right now. However, not going quietly.
One of the passengers who subdued Torres told our NBC Boston station, "We had a hard time holding him down. It was total teamwork. Unruly onboard behavior has been spiking since 2019. Last year, more than 2,300 reports, many involving physical and verbal assaults. On Capitol Hill today, the acting chief reiterated the FAA's zero tolerance.
Now, let me ask y'all a question. Everybody's seen Wesley Snipes. Can we get Wesley back up on here, passenger 57? Could we get the U.S. Marshals back on the plane? Because, I mean, like, this stuff is happening more and more. And, I mean, it does kind of seem to be on certain airlines. But, I mean, I'm just asking a question here. Like, can we get Wesley on planes now? Like, because, I mean, this is happening too much. And, I mean, again, here's the problem I have with this. Is, like, sometimes they'll emergency land your plane and then you're all messed up because somebody else, they I don't understand this. I mean, there's no real clear reason why this fight happened. And this person's talking about they going to dead everybody in there. I mean, that's a direct threat. At that point, you got, and they couldn't even hold this dude down. I'm like, you holding him down, bro. It's time to thud him out. It's night. Everybody go night right now. This is not a subdue him and hold him down. He has to be put down, with impunity. That's what I'm thinking at this point. They take him to the back, close that door, and it's time to go to work. And one of the things I'm asking about men nowadays, are we scared to jump into action when need be? I'm not saying you got to do it to be a hero, but when somebody says every male on the plane, I mean, the dude that was hitting him in the beginning, is he not right to protect himself? Who knows what he's going to do? I mean, what I'm seeing is that five guys should be taking that guy to the back and stomping his ears together. So my man, when the police get him, he's tied up in the back, thudded up. He should be black and blue all over and leaking from multiple spots because he didn't say he gonna hurt everybody up in there. People with children, terrifying. That's a terrifying thing he did on the plane. And again, I mean, then they're going to talk about this zero tolerance blacklisting people, but the damage is already done. He attacked a flight attendant, a male flight attendant, with a broken spoon, trying to stab him. I mean, this dude should be thudded out. There's no way he should be having that little mark on his head. This guy should be bodied for real. And I'm just saying, are men scared to act? Because it only came at that point when he picked it up and he started charging at the guy that multiple people, came in. But at first he started actually getting a few jabs in. I mean, how does that go? All right, folks. So in our main storyline up here, we see this is the Real Housewives of. Let's take a look at this. It's on Peacock here. We got
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, dude, my bad, fam. Let me get this back. No, where we at here? Hold on. Let me get it back. Folks. My bad. Here. Let's get it back real quick. Where's she at? Come on, man. Hold on. Let me get this right. Sorry, folks. I messed this up. That's my bad. Where is this at? Come on, man. I'm gonna get it back. Here we go. Woo! It's getting spicy right now. Let me get this right here. Here we go.
Reunion day with our Charlie's Angels. What's the guy's name?
Dear God.
Charlie?
Woo! Good God.
You're invited to the three-part Real Housewives of Miami reunion.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, that's nice.
Strong. Let's turn this up.
Yay!
Right, look at
Who
this.
here do you think has the most sex?
I've always had sex like 4 times a night.
4 times a night?
Your poor vagina.
Jacqueline from New York City said,
Yo, did you hear that? She said 4 times a night. I mean, that's Larsa Pippen right there. Former wife of Scottie Pippen, still using his last name, who is now dating or in a longer term relationship with Marcus Jordan, the son of NBA basketball legend Michael Jordan. And I always like to have sex 4 times a night. When a viewer points out that Jordan, who's 32, is in closer to age to Pippen's 22-year-old son, Scottie Jr., whom she shares with ex-Scottie Pippen, the 48-year-old shoots back at a thinly veiled brag response, but Marcus wears a size 15 shoe, so I think he's okay. Dang. I mean, she's 48 years old, man. This is a mother, man. This is, yo, let's finish this up, man. Here we go.
Marcus is closer in age to your son Scottie Jr. than to you.
He wears the size 15 shoes. I think he's okay.
Oh, Martina's diagnosis is radical.
All right, so here we go. This is what we seeing right here. He wears a size 15 shoe, so I think he's okay. This is what she's saying. She's been linked to Jordan, Marcus Jordan, since 2022. They just confirmed their relationship in Instagram in January. I mean, bro, this is so bad, man. This is so bad. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, for real, like, I mean, yo, Marcus Jordan, salute to him, man. Shout out to him because, yo, he's doing his thing. He's living his life. You know, maybe, and here's the thing you want to think about, right? So Michael and Scottie were teammates. So Marcus grew up seeing Larsa, and maybe he had the hots for her. You know, like that's not too out of the league to see a young man fantasizing about, a woman maybe he always wanted her. You know what I'm saying? And now he's 32, and yo, he's living his childhood dream. He's tired of going in this room and finding, lotion and some Kleenex, you know what I mean, and the towel and all of that stuff, and he's got to lay everything out and burn some incense and get it right. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm just saying that, potentially he's seen her in the younger years in there, and she's hugging him. She got them big old titties pressed up against him, and he's thinking like, oh, I got something going on. I got rigor mortis in my pants. And I'm thinking about that lady, the way she smelled, and now he's digging in him. He's going to town, and she likes that he's got a size 15. My biggest question would be how did Michael? I mean, I know you like, yo, your son's grown, and I do believe Michael's wife is like, she's got to be late 30s, maybe early 40s potentially. So, it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, although, it just kind of makes you think like, man, how long has he been holding this back? And I mean, he's 32. He could be getting below younger than that, but he's going for 48-year-old her. So to me, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people may not agree with this, I think that he's always had a fantasy about her potentially, in my opinion. I don't know this to be true. But definitely she was a hot older woman, when he was, so what, there's a 16-year age difference. So I mean, literally, you got to think about this, right? So the son's 22. So even 22 years ago, he was what, 10 years old? So that means, he was 7, 8, 9 watching Larsa Pippen in her younger years when she was what, 26? I mean, she must have been a piece of work at that time. He's been watching it this whole time. Look good after baby. Coming over, she got that good cooking or whatever else, smell good. And she might have just always been his fit. You know what I mean? They're definitely, I mean, what did they say? Even Drake banged out one of his babysitters or something like that. He said in the song. I mean, there are older girls you like, yo, you just want. And this, I mean, she still looks like she's got a few years left before she comes and gets claimed by the Wall of the North. But for right now, he's able to go in there and live out, young man's fantasies when he's going through wet dreams and morning wood. She's saying 4 times a night. I mean, I think at that age, in the 40s, women hit that age where they kind of drive kicks in. But I mean, at the same time, man, Scotty Jr., man, the Pippen family, the real Pippen family, the blood related Pippen family, this has got to be one of the most devastating things to happen. Seeing your moms out there like this. I mean, this isn't even something that's funny, but it's comical in a way because Scotty must have got an inkling. Like, you think Marcus like told him when they were younger, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to, like, when he was a teenager and Scotty was younger, because they got a 10-year gap. So like maybe he was 16 and 6. He was like, yo, I'm gonna bang your mom one day. You know what I mean? Said that to him, and like he knew it was gonna come. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy to think that was the case. But you think about it though, right? Like, how many times I'm 42, so I'm 10 years older than Marcus, and 20 years older than Scotty Jr. So like old heads or older kids, they always like talk about your mom, like, oh yeah, I bang your mom, whatever else. Maybe he was saying that to Scotty Jr. or Scotty Jr. was mad, and he just he kind of was like, yo, here it is. I don't know, but I mean, there's a whole lot of. I mean, I don't think anyone's brought that up. That point that Marcus Jordan might have had the hots for her when he was a teen, like when he's 15, 16 and stuff like that. I mean, because when he's 15, 16, she's 32, like she's only 16 years older than him. So it's not like out of the realm that he couldn't have been attracted to her when she was in her young 30s, just his age right now. He'd have been 16 years old. I mean, he's pretty active at that point, and she probably was a viable looking woman that was a lot more mature and filled out. And I mean, maybe he made a pass then and it never took, and now she came back to talk about that pass that happened, and he was like, oh, for sure, and maybe he's doing this out of a fantasy and living that out and having that time to live out his 16-year-old fantasy, allegedly. I don't know if that's true, but I think that makes sense. He's living out something that 16 years ago he said in his mind he wanted, and he's making sure. Yo, this reminds me of my stream yesterday, man, and salute to the people that checked in on me, whoever you are. I talked about this movie called The Kid, right? And I said it was with Bruce Willis. And it's like he's somehow his younger self comes and visits like him in his 30s. So maybe Marcus Jordan is actually going through that now. Like he's, and I talked about the movie in briefly, but it's like Bruce Willis plays an actor. This young kid, which actually is his younger self, comes into the future or whatever else. And blase blase through the story, they become more he gets in touch with his childhood self, and then they end up at the end of the movie meeting his older self, and then like the 3 points all collide. This like you don't you always end up doing the things you dream about. That was the kind of basis of the movie, and maybe this was it. And maybe this was him cashing a check that he signed over when he was 16. Was like, yo, I got you, youngin, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's what it was about. I mean, Marcus Jordan, he's like I said, it is not out the realm of possibility. They are only 16 years apart. He's 32, she's 48. And when he was 16, she was 32. He's going through the basketball games. She's in there wearing that fly, Dolce and Gabbana. She got the smell right, the jewelry. He's looking at her like, I'm so attracted to this woman. He's up in the box seats with his mom, his sister, and Larsa up in there, and they all hugging whatever else, and she excited. She got them, tickle bitties on him, hugging him, and he like, holy I got a fatty from here. Who knows? That could have happened. I mean, it's not out the realm of young men being attracted to older women within their circle. It happens. And I think that's what played out here is that he acted on an adolescent fantasy, and he's living in that fantasy now, with her, and he's young, and he's getting the most out of that. Poor Scotty, man. I mean, not poor Scotty, because Scotty, he could do his thing, man. Scotty's not he's not he has the ability to move on in his life, but the kids, man, like that's got to be tough on the young children, man. And then you got, he's in the league, so there's a whole bunch of layers to it, man. But shout out to the Jordan family. It's sad. I pray that never my kids have to go through something like that. I mean, that's so tough for the kids, man. And Scotty's got to be one to be like, yo, Scotty, put a call in the mic, man, and say, please stop it, man. Just whatever, it just means that, yo, you do not mess with Jordan, yo. You don't mess with Jordan. You're not going to like the results, man. And just to finish it up, man. Finish. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, check this out right here, man.
Now, Marcus, I hear a girl dog that she pussy whip.
Yo, this is Jordan talking to his son.
Whip that pussy. Look, bang, 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 bang.
Yo, I can imagine Jordan at dinner saying that to his son Marcus, like, Marcus, you gotta reverse it, Marcus. Don't be pussy whip, Marcus. Whip that pussy. Yeah, I get to see that happening, man. That's crazy. Any which way, folks. I thought Thursday laugh, man. Everybody needs a laugh sometimes, This is not a land video. This is just me comment on stuff that's crazy and funny. One thing I think is really unfair is that, we always want people, I always get told, oh, the people want to box you in. I have humor. I have things that I think are funny. I have things that I find comical or even distasteful, man. And I'm a real person. I'm an actual human being with, things, wants, and needs. And I'm not going to try to create a facade of something else about who I am and what I like. What people get is the real me. They're going to get the things I like, the way I think. So you really know who you're buying from when you are interested in purchasing land from me, because I'm a regular guy. I'm a father. I laugh. I think things are funny. And I see that a lot of other successful people out there, they get to be themselves. And I never wanted to sell myself as some kind of an authentic kind of person. I'm just me. I've got just different witty humor that I like. And, I find stories like this interesting because I too was 15, 16. There were older women that, even like maybe even like a teacher or something that he was like, man, she's hot. And you just have childhood fantasies and things like that, which are very non-harmful and normal for a young boy to think of any older woman that's attractive. I don't think there's anything unhealthy about that, but so many people want you to be, they want to like Jesus-fy you, And like I said, I think Marcus Jordan is living. He's only 16 years old younger than Larsa Pippen. I think when he was 16 and she was 32, they're around each other, and he's had a fantasy about her being that older woman. I mean, my man is probably going through multiple tissue boxes. I mean, he's pints of lotion, gallons even. Just and now none of that is required at this point because she likes to do it 4 times a night. This is what she's saying. And he wears a size 15 shoe, whatever that means. I don't know, man. I wear a 9.5, 10, and I ain't never had no complaints. I don't know about that whole shoe thing, but maybe maybe he's got the dong for the taking. He's King Gorilla coming in there, Magilla Gorilla, and he's laying down them 48-year-old walls, knocking them. All the holes. Maybe he has a Lincoln big enough to fit in that driveway, if you know what I mean. And my whole point is that for him, he may not care because he might be driven by adolescent fantasy. I mean, most people don't know that. Yeah, 16-year-olds, but if they meet an attractive older woman that's a classmate's mom, a teacher, or someone, maybe the opposing team basketball coach, or anything like that, there is a real big heavy possibility that the young adolescent is having, they're at their hormones are racing, and this woman's attractive, and she probably hugged him real tight one day. He got a whiff or a feel of something, and that he got a rise. And later on, when he's old enough, the universe aligns, and so does he. All fit size 15 of them. And now he gets to drive the Jordan Continental into the garage. That the 48-year-old walls. And she may not even be realizing that the 4 times a night may just be him running off young D energy. You know what I mean? I'm calling it young D energy, where he's in there just tearing away at this. She's in the last stages of, I guess, her heightened hormonal sexuality. I'm speaking as a nurse now. I'm getting into my medical doctorate now. At her age of 48, she's going through where her sex drive is much higher, where his sex drive is getting to the point of 32. They're meeting right at a universal alignment. The galaxy is being aligned now for sexual energy. And she's having her way with it. And maybe he was cute little Marcus, little Marcus, little Mark, you know what I mean? Jordan's boy. And now, he may not have went to the league, but he's he's scoring in many different ways. Who knows, folks? But I think it's interesting, and like I said, shout out to, it just means that, never, Jordan can hurt you in more than one ways. Never make Jordan your enemy. Never make Mr. Michael Jordan your enemy. You need to always stay on his good side, because if not, his legacy will still live on and do complete damage. And you gotta feel bad for the Pippen family, because the son is he's got to watch this play out, and he can't do anything because big older cousin Marcus is filleting his mom. You know what I mean? And that's sad. That is really sad. Allegedly, I don't know if they're doing anything, but she said size 15, which alluded to some probable sexual innuendo. So I'm going to go along and say that, according to her statements, it seems like a little bit more than is happening than a handshake in good old times. So. And I don't have any proof of that. I don't want to go out there and say that. But she likes sex 4 times a night. I don't know who she's doing it with, and if it's not Marcus and they're in a relationship. But, imagine it. I'm not even going to go on the girl side. But imagine young man. You're 15, 16. And you're now in your 30s. You had the hots for a teacher or, anybody. Just somebody who's 20. Somebody older classman, right? 4 or 5 years older than you, or your older brother. There was a girl or older classmate, because you had a brother 4, 5, 6 years old. Like my son Percival, he's 5 months. His brother Philip is 6 years old. So there's a possibility that when my middle son goes and hangs around other girls, he's young enough to start seeing older girls that may come up to be attractive. Or my daughter she's got friends. She's 8 years older than him. I mean, plus 4, that's 12. There's the realm possibility. You're 15, 16. You see some people who are 28, 29, 30. And you got the hots for one of them girls in there. They look good. They're just what you like. And then 16 years later, this woman now comes back into your circle, and you're going to pass the ball or you're going to shoot. Looks like Marcus decided to shoot. You know, and I mean, that's what I think. I don't think anybody's thought of it this way. Everybody's went into the, this is planned, whatever else. But I mean, maybe Marcus and his dad sat down and he's like, yo, what's going on? He's like, listen, man, I had the hots for this lady a long time ago. You remember that time at band camp? And he's like, yo, as a grown man, man, I'm going to do what I got to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to pass that up. I've been thinking about this woman since I was 16. Allegedly, I don't know if that's true, but that's what it is, man. And that's what he wanted to do. He's doing what he's got to do. Sometimes we leave desires on the table, and apparently Marcus is not. So, any which way, folks. Bill Davis. This might be a throwaway show, folks. I might have to put this on the private stream. Any which way, I thought to talk about this because I don't think anybody's ever come at that angle. It's just thought about, the Marcus being younger, and this was an older woman that he had the hots for when he was a teenager, and now, the things have opened up for him. Any which way, folks. Phil Davis, Ancestrylands. I'm always trying to bring a different angle to things, folks. Different stuff that people don't talk about, never hear before. Any which way, folks. That's it for today. See you all tomorrow on the road with Uncle Phil. Ancestrylands, ancestrylands.com. Go buy some property, folks. 1,000 down, 250 a month. We got tons of properties out there. Like, share, subscribe. Yeah, this is going to be a funny one. A little bit off the rocket. If you just chopping in, go back to the beginning. Go watch the beginning. It's definitely 40 minutes worth of something to think. I mean, yeah, I think it's a good. I think that's a good angle that he had the hots for Larsa a long time ago, and he's just acting on it now. He's already known that he wanted her, and he has his opportunity. He's going to take it. I think that's just what it is, and that's all. Any which way, folks. Phil Davis, Ancestry Land, signing out. Yo, enjoy your day, man. Happy Thursday. Peace.